Here's the next video in our series, A Day in the Life of SaaS FinOps. This one on a question I get asked so much, how do I plan my tech stack? Let's dive into it. There's some core elements you need to think about first in this kind of flow. Be able to respond to the customer and competitive needs. Think about what it is that you're trying to build, where enterprise value comes from in your company, where you need business flexibility in order to do that. And then second, get your accounting in order with what your GL and revenue rules look like and your invoicing and billing rules. Better to do it simple before things get too complicated and fancy, particularly if you're going to need to load contracts in. Sooner is better than later. Then align your use case to the market. Sales often has to get twisted in a pretzel in order to win business, particularly in the early days. The less you have to handle exceptions and all the problems they can cause in your reporting and understanding the cash flow, the better off you are. So think proactively what those are before the volume scales and gets you. And then avoid your quote to cash technical debt. People want invoice and frictionless billing and Amazon-esque type of model. So think proactively upon what that looks like. Each of these builds on top of one another. These are the core principles to think about in your planning. And then so there's a checklist to go after. First off, build your GL, your chart of accounts, the dimensions that you're going to want to be able to track, and then know your billing use case, which means where are you bringing value to your customers and how are you pricing for that? And then working across product and sales in order to be accommodating of that. And based on that, what's your revenue recognition scenario? What are the implicit and explicit promises that you have over what cadence are you delivering that so you can declare that you've met your performance obligations, particularly if you're going to be rolling out new products at different cadences. Then where's your data coming from for your reporting? Often comes from multiple places, particularly if you've got a disparate set of systems where you've got to work on a spreadsheet of some sort. The less you can have to deal with that, the more you can have one system of record, the better off you are. And then be able to anticipate your exceptions in the selling process. Sometimes you can by looking ahead, talking to smart investors or peers, but get your handle on that because constant contract amendments do happen and you want them to happen as you have upsells and renewals in your business. And then, particularly if you want a big outcome in fundraising, handle your compliance and all this. Who needs access to what? And adhering to the rules that you set out for yourself with some good partnership with your auditor. This is the checklist you want to go about doing things. And here's some things to think about as we start with the billing use cases. What's the type and quantity of your customers so you can track that? And then what's going to be the cadence on invoicing and payment terms that you have? And then what drives the type of billing that you're doing? Is it subscription or transactional? So how fast do you be doing ARR versus your recognized perpetual licenses? And then how much land and expand do you have? How much variation is there going to happen of the contract, particularly after the first year as you're trying to increase your net dollar retention? And then what's the pace that you're running at, particularly if early stage venture or a later stage private equity buyout? Again, the impact that's going to happen to your ARR versus your recognized revenue. And then what's going to happen to you in seasonality and usage, particularly if you're trying to build some sort of usage billing model that comes in. These are the factors to think about as you're building your billing use cases. And then how do you want to report off all of this? Here's 6 of the top reports that people want to see: their billings, their ARR bookings, their SaaS P&L, the churn and retention, professional services backlog of retention, and the headcount. There's many more, but these are the core ones. So back to, based upon what reporting you're going to need to guide the business, taking that backwards into what your billing and revenue and reporting use cases look like in order to track. Because when you do, you can build beautiful dashboards like this. The faster, the better. The more complete, the better. By having everything in one place, take your close time down in order to see this, because this is how you make great executive decision making and educated and confident, competent decision making so you can win your market against your competition, because you better know how you're delivering your customer value. And most people think about doing this reactively to just solving a process at a time. But the problem with this is it leaves you with data all over the place that then you have to integrate. Handling spreadsheets gives you a delayed close, not being able to react as fast. And then what is the system of record that you're going to trust across everything? Often, whichever one gets picked is whoever yells the loudest. That's not the way to run a business. So we had some great investors, some of the top SaaS investors in the entire world guided us to where the puck was going with building the business, all in one place, one in tech stack, handling all your billing scenarios, your revenue recognition, expenses and cash flow, accelerating your close, having the reporting and metrics tied into compliance, all built around the audited system of record, your intelligent GL. If you want to learn more, simply go to sageintacct.com/easyclimb, sageintacct.com/easyclimb. Deliver these results for yourself and your team. It's a pleasure meeting you. I hope I answered some of your questions. I look forward to possibly meeting you in the future. Have a great day.